set?
All set.
All right, we are recording this, so please silence your cell phones, and then if everyone please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. We're gonna do the presentation first?
Yes.
Yes, okay, so as not to make folks wait through some of our boarding stuff, we'll start with the presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll do all that.
Go
ahead and put the. We can put her right in front of head, we gotta be careful.
For those that don't know me, my name is Christy Rhonda. I've got my wife Charlene, cousin Ron Chippy and his wife Sue. On behalf of Gordon's estate and Gordon's family, he asked, one of the things he told me, he says, Chris, when all is said and done and I decide enough is enough, take care of the fire department, do something nice for them, find something they need. Don't just go down, hand them a couple of bucks and walk away and say thank you. You know, it's me, you know how I am. So with that said, conversation with Chief Hayes, finding out a need and a way to meet that need. I would like to present the Homer Fire Department a rescue saw for one of the trucks that is short of saw. And with just thank you for being a village that Gordon loved, served for many decades. Sometimes I think he sat in one of these seats where you all are sitting for many years. Probably gave a lot of people heck. But that's Gordon. So thank you from the Wheelock family and the Duranda family and the Shippey family. And,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Actually, can we get you guys up front and face the camera a little bit? Steve and Malin and hold that saw up so everybody can see it.
If you know anything about Gordy, too, this is pretty fitting because he was a woodman
Oh, yeah.
and his nickname in the fire department was Sawdust.
That's awesome.
Here, so
That was
Chief-
on the back of his fire coat.
Here, from the family to yourself.
Well, thank you. This is fitting for Gordon. I'm sure he would like to have played with it.
I'm sure he would have.
We can put it right to work with it.
That's the problem.
Or told somebody how to use it. Wait, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. And Chief, there's all the paraphernalia, an extra blade, or an extra bar, receipt for any warranty work, everything's right there for us.
Well, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
I appreciate it.
We appreciate it. When we were upstairs, he was active as long as he was able to be active. And we can't say that for all our members.
Well, he loved it. He loved it, he lived it, and it's who he was. So thank you for everything. And I got one more for mailing, if I may, take a few more minutes.
Sure.
Of course. You got it? All right, Malin, also thank you from the family for his celebration of life. Awesome fire truck ride. Until it wasn't so awesome anymore.
Most of the way.
I had that fixed in 2 days.
And everything you did, just a little bit of appreciation for the Benevolent Association from the family.
Okay. This is helpful and it's nice. We give a $500 scholarship every year to a student from the school that lives within our fire district. to help them with going to school, books, whatever they want to do, going into fire, police, EMS, that kind of thing. So all of these sort of things help. For the last couple of years, we haven't had to have our field days, and we generate some income from that. So anything that can come to the benevolent is definitely a plus, and we certainly appreciate that. So
Awesome.
Well,
Thanks,
you
sir.
very much.
Thank you, folks,
Thank
for
you
letting
so
me have a
much.
few minutes and letting us have a few
Thank
minutes.
you.
Of course.
Thank you all.
Thank you for coming.
you guys get to see all the stuff in the room? I thought you had.
You gave us a.
An hour.
Yeah,
So you can spend some time.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So keep watching.
Especially all the tree work that they had to be doing lately. so
Oh,
that's-
I know. Okay. Now, I think we are on to public hearing. One.
What happened to when I have to go maskless?
That's
It
fine.
was a long way. Public hearing number one, Village of Homer is considering a local law to create a three-way stop on Copeland Avenue by installing a stop sign at eastern and western bound lanes of Copeland Avenue where it intersects with Park Avenue, and adding those intersections to the stop intersection section of the Vehicles and Traffic Chapter in the Village of Homer in Portland County, New York. Local law number 2 of 2021, local law creating a three-way stop on Copeland Avenue by installing stop sign on the eastern and western bound lanes of Copeland Avenue where it intersects with Park Avenue, and adding those intersections to the stop intersection section of the Vehicles and Traffic Chapter of the Village of Homer in Portland County, New York. Being enacted by the Board of Trustees at the Village of Homer as follows. The Village of Homer creates a three-way stop on the intersection of Copeland Avenue and Park Avenue as provided herein, and instructs the Village Department of Public Works to install stop signs on the eastern and western bound lanes of Copeland Avenue where it intersects with Park Avenue. Section 1, statutory authority and purpose. This local law is intended to be consistent with and is enacted by the Village Board of Trustees of the Village of Homer pursuant to its authority to adopt laws under the New York State Constitution and New York State Municipal Home Rule Law and New York State Village Law. It is intended to act in furtherance of the village's authority with respect to existing village code chapter, vehicles and traffic law, and particularly its authority to modify paragraph 210-11 entitled Stop Intersection. The village board finds that it is in the best interest of the Village of Homer to prevent speeding vehicles from causing a safety concern to individuals and pedestrians, and therefore enacts this local law in furtherance of that goal. Section 2, adding the east and westbound lanes at stop intersection to chapter 210-11 stop intersection to the village vehicles and traffic section of the Code of Village of Homer, New York. The eastbound and westbound lanes of the intersection of Copeland Avenue and Park Avenue are added to the stop intersections provided for in Schedule 8, subsection 210-41, except as herein provided, the remainder of provisions of the section are unchanged. Section 3, separability. If any part or provision of this local law or the application thereof to any persons or circumstance be adjudged invalid by any court of competent jurisdiction, such judgment shall be confined in its operation to the part or provision or application directly involved in the controversy in which such judgment shall have been rendered, and shall not affect and or impair the validity of the remainder of this local law or the application thereof to other persons or circumstances. And the Board of Trustees of the Village of Homer hereby declares that it would have passed this local law or the remainder thereof had such invalid application or invalid provision been apparent. Section 4, effective date. This local law shall take immediately after being filed with the New York Secretary of State in accordance with Section 27 of the Municipal Home Rule Law. Portland County, New York, be enacted Board of Trustees of Village of Homer as follows. Village of Homer expressly opts out. Oh, that's a different one. Apologies. And Municipal Home Rule Law.
All right. Any discussion on the first? Once, twice, thrice, hearing none, do a motion,
I make a motion. I'll second.
discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. On to number 2.
A little shorter. Village of Homer is considering changes to the water and sewer rates for all users. Discuss, please.
So, per our review, we're looking at changing the water base rate to $31.50 and the sewer to $45.50, with the consumption rates in water between 5,001 to 160,000 gallons to 285 for 1,000 gallons, and For sewer, 5,001 to 160,000 gallons to 625 for 1,000 gallons. The rate is actually not a rate increase, it's more of a rate adjustment because the base rate will cover all our fixed costs and then the consumption covers our variable costs.
I noticed, yeah,
Yeah, also, we're putting some in reserves by doing this, and we're getting rid of money. For sewer,
yeah, I noticed that 32% of the bills will decrease. And then only 20% will increase and only a moderate amount. So that's fair. I mean, I think this is a great, great result for this. It's what we've been talking about doing for years.
So this wouldn't become effective to the usage starting in October,
Right.
so it wouldn't be to the January 1st bill,
Right.
so
So we're doing the right one,
rate two.
right too, good.
Yeah, I think right too is the right one.
So we start the process in October and they see the results in January.
Yep.
Right. All right. Do we have any other discussion on this?
I didn't really have time to see where I fell in this rate too.
Well, how many gallons do you use?
I don't have that in the top of my head.
And you never know.
Well, I know on the bill.
Yeah, I know, but this is just, it changes it slightly. You know, if you're a high user, it may go up $20 or something a quarter. If you're, you know, like me, 8,000 gallons, I may save $2. I don't know.
I think when we checked, like mine rose $25, $30, something like that, or whatever.
And he's a heavy user.
And mine was gonna go up like $15, but that's a family of 5.
I'm talking like 6 units.
Well, the base rate will go down too.
Yep.
So that's the good thing, and then it's based on, if you looked at, if they all were $100, they're probably all 15 each.
Okay. The deal is that we have the $50,000.
I understand the
deficit,
concept.
and that's really why we have to do it. It's either that or the taxpayers are causing us the money.
I didn't really have time to see just how much it was affecting my life. But, like you said, it has to be that.
And with this, there's, you know, changing the rate, it will encourage people to conserve water, right? If you're heavy users, you can conserve water and actually get some savings, whereas you might not have been able to do that before with such a change. So I think it's great. Any other comments, discussions? We have a motion to accept rate change number 2.
I'll make a motion to accept rate change number 2.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye.
I seconded the last one too.
That's all right.
All right, moving on. Approving the minutes from August 10th.
If you already saw some changes needed to make.
Yeah, I annotated 2 changes and subject to those changes, I would make a motion to accept the minutes with those changes.
I'll second with your changes.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next up, authorizing the payment of bills.
I'll make a motion, we accept the bills. I'll say them.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. All righty, privilege of the floor.
Treasurer's report.
Yeah, no reports this.
Oh, okay.
This is the second. Privilege once, twice, thrice, seeing none. All right, review the proposed fire protection service contracts. So these have gone to these places now? They have them?
Town hall pictures up.
Yeah, they saw it.
Well, this is getting reviewed here now, and Town of Homer is well with it, and I have sent somebody else both those 2 contracts. I have heard nothing back
You heard nothing back?
From Summer Hill, yes. So, Town of Homer has, we discussed, and they seem to be fine with it.
Okay, yep,
We just signed it on our end, and then it'll be ready to go.
yep, all righty. Want me to sign these copies, or do you have?
You want to sign new copies because I accidentally put a town of Portlandville one on the bottom.
Oh, okay,
For the recreation.
all right,
I'll put one out before you take it
Yeah.
out.
very good.
So-
That has a good one, a copy if anyone wants to see.
Do I have a copy of
The
it?
one I handed. you.
Oh, this one, oh, okay. Here we go. So there's the town of Homer's looking at a 3-year. And this, they are up to the $1 per thousand.
Right,
The town of Summer Hill, we're still in discussion, so we gave them the option of a 1-year contract, and we're also giving them a 3-year contract.
And just the 3-year contract for Town of Homer, that's off the 2021 assessment,
right,
special value at the 1,000. Summer Hill, the 1-year contract is off of 2019 numbers. So if they had done a 3-year, it would have been that number. But the 3-year, of course, is off of 2021.
got it. Um, Yeah, I have no issues, I think that's good. What is their drop dead date? Do we know?
Well, I mean, if all we hear is crickets for the rest of the year, end of the year, 12/31, no
That's
more
what I
service
thought.
past 11/59.
Okay, so yeah, I remember now we had to start sending them letters last year, telling them we were gonna cease their fire protection. Hopefully we don't get there this year.
We've had a couple meetings with them, and we're pushing the contracts to them, so it's fully in their corner. We're even giving them 2 options.
Yeah,
Did they seem abstinent like they were before?
What's that?
Did they seem like against it like they were before?
They're still, I wasn't at the one meeting that Chief Hayes was at. He could give you a better assessment of that. You know, when I went to the meeting, I was just giving them the annual fire report and answering any questions they may have had.
Yep.
But the town of Homer, their fire commissioners are on board, and they would just ask for this, so I think this is gonna be a matter of pro forma once we get it signed.
Perfect.
we need to motion to approve to sign these, so
I'll make a motion that we approve to sign.
I'll second.
discussion, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. All right. Are these ones signable, Tanya, or do you get other copies?
That's what
No,
we
they're
gave.
signable.
Okay. All right, and then we're gonna talk about budget adjustments.
So most of the budget adjustments are just reclassing from one line to another as we, instead of large equipment, we spent small equipment. The large one you see is because when you transfer in reserves, putting it into reserves, it's not really an expense, it's just cash to cash. So you have to take it out of the budget. So we put the 125,000 into the fire truck reserve. So that's all that is showing it, we're not buying a fire truck, so we have to take it out, but we had to plan the money. So the rest of them are just moving, there's also one between Parks and Recreation for time spent. But that's it.
All right,
I'll make a motion to accept the adjustments as stated.
all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. All right, discuss update on basketball court pullback board installation.
Bill's on, I asked him. Let's do that. To let you know when they'd be done or what
Okay.
it needs.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
All right. Well, of course, everybody knows we're doing our paving this week and possibly maybe half of next week. So we're probably looking 2 weeks out. We gotta get the sonotube set and concrete poured in them, but I'm getting to them as fast as I can. It's just real busy the last
Oh, that's
next
fine.
couple of weeks here, so.
That's fine. Did you figure out a way to get poles pulled?
Yep, poles have been pulled for almost 2 weeks now.
Okay,
We've locked everything up so nobody can get in there, of course, but. Yep, just waiting for this paving thing to get over with and then we can rock and roll on that.
very good.
So I know before there was concern as to how you were gonna, get the hole for the sonotube and all that, so you got that mitigated now, Phil?
Yeah. We actually put the loader in there. I was a little concerned about the depth of the blacktop, but there was no issues at all. It fit through the doorway there, or the gate, excuse me.
Very good.
We should be able to get the back truck in there with no issues and get the hole sucked out.
Perfect. There we go.
Yep.
Excellent.
Awesome. Good news.
Thank you, Phil.
Yep.
All right, next up, approved time off updates for SROs for handbook per contract with Homer Central School.
So there's nothing in our handbook for SRO time off, but in the contract, they are allowed certain days, 56 hours, which
Right.
is any time off at all. And then there are detailed bereavement policies there. So
Got
it's
it.
just to add it into the handbook.
Now, I had a question. Why is it 56?
The school said it, because that's what the school contract is. So I don't
I
know
was just
why.
curious, because if you employ under 100, it's 40, not over 100, it's 56.
Yep.
That's what I was wondering. where
Yeah,
they came up with that.
it's what they negotiated and they're based on 7-hour days, so I'm guessing 8 days here.
Perfect.
And so
Cool.
Motion to accept addition into the handbook.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, excellent. And formally accepting the donation and Gordon Wheelock's name. That was a really lovely thing that he did and that the family did, so
Since I was really close to Gordon, can I do that? Make
you
that-
absolutely can. I know.
Kevin's got the. making that motion.
I would like to make that motion to accept the donation in Gordon's name.
I'll second that.
Very good. Discussion.
Very appropriate.
Yeah, I know. I know.
That was due.
Who knew? I didn't know his nickname was Sawdust. That's
Yeah.
great.
All right.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Good.
Well, we have Phil on. I'd like to, we were talking about the, there's a Pomeroy grant sign. Phil, we've got a Pomeroy grant sign in the shop, right?
A Pomeroy grant. Oh, yes, we do. Yes.
Yeah.
I had to think about what you're talking about.
Yeah. I know.
Yep.
What do we have to, what's left to do on that to get that reset?
The other half needs to be sandblasted and repainted.
Okay.
are we doing that, Phil? Like us internally, or do we need to send that out?
It's probably gonna have to be sent out because it takes a while, so all gotta be done by hand.
Okay.
So,
We have some money, so would you like to get some quotes on it?
yeah, I got one quote so far, but
Yeah.
I can get a couple more, no problem.
What's the quote you got so far and from who?
That was from, for $1,100 from, Jim Marsh.
Jim Marsh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say just maybe get at least one more quote and then,
Okay.
yeah, but I know you're busy right now. Which sign is it, by the way? Do we know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, just curious. Yeah, just get another quote and then, we'll send it out.
Okay.
Excellent. All right.
Thanks, Phil.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. Dante, do you have anything else for us?
Did you say my name?
I did.
I couldn't make it out for sure. I don't have anything else for you guys.
All right.
Dante, with the, now that we passed the local law for the stop signs, how soon before we can put them up?
I believe that local law goes into effect immediately upon filing with the Secretary of State, but I am not 100% on that. That's
It
usually.
is, it is, yeah.
So
It'll put out tomorrow.
Okay.
and tomorrow, or to be safe, maybe on Thursday.
There you go.
So it'll still be pretty close to the start of school anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, Phil's still got to finish paving, but I mean, as soon as
Yeah.
they're done paving, we can,
Good.
before they even get a chance to, paving's done, stop signs up.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
All right, any other, we got comments from board members? Have you got anything? Oh, yes, I do. I'd like to apologize to Dan. I'd like to apologize to Pat and you for bugging you about giving me a copy of the CFA response. I will not ask for it again. So take my apology, please, that I've upset you,
You didn't upset me.
giving you a bunch of crap. And I know you guys are stressed and you work real hard, so I really apologize. And I will not ask about it again. So there.
Yeah, well, you don't need to apologize that.
My door's always open at any time.
Yeah.
Anytime.
It's okay. I feel your stress.
We got a lot of balls in the air right now. So, Tim, you got anything?
I don't have anything. Nope, my biggest thing would have been about the hoops, but that was coming.
All right, I got a few things, but Kevin, you got anything?
I just got one thing, Tanya expressed to me that someone was concerned about the cost of the flags and the amount of time and effort DPW spent installing it and how much time and effort that I put into it. Well, just to answer her, to me, it was a labor of love. I mean, it wouldn't matter how much time I spent on it. You know, it's part of what I do as a trustee, and it just warms my heart to do anything to improve the appearance of the village and beautification of it. And as far as I know, that money was set aside. So,
Yeah, it was grant money that we needed to do something with it. And also, I gotta tell you, I've gotten so many people that tell me how great it looks.
Yeah.
I mean, they really come and like
Can't
say
wait to
it
see
looks
the
so much
flowers.
better, yeah,
you know, and me as well, and
The flower box is
people that don't
amazing.
even live at home
right,
have called me and said, you know,
yeah, no, that was a great
I
thing.
was just a small part of it, but you know, how much time and or whatever I spent into it, it was just a labor of love.
Yeah, the person actually just asked how much was spent. So
Yeah.
labor and materials, so I'm
Not
just,
very much,
yeah.
yeah.
And
Find
just,
it
you
out.
can just tell us that there's more stuff coming.
Yep.
And
Those are
it
good.
is-
And
and
the
it
best
is-
part is that if we didn't use that, we would have lost the grant.
Yeah, that's
right?
money,
So,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
That's our grant for recovery stuff, so. No, it's been great.
We, you know, as mentioned, I'm working on design for the flower boxes and hopefully some sculptures in springtime.
Excellent.
More good things to come.
While
Good.
you're doing it, come up with a nice flower box for exit 12.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we
Take
can
some
do that
stones,
too.
yeah.
You got anything, Pat?
Yeah, just an update on the bus shelter.
Yep,
So because we're doing some additional items, the county just wants to make sure that they're separating the funds. So it's up to the lawyers right now to make sure that the county's paying for their part and that we're gonna pay for our part, which are the add-ons that we want to make it look nice for the village. So it's still in progress. It's just a little delayed right now, getting the paperwork and straight.
excellent. All right, so I have a couple, there's been some, as part of the linear park work. As you know, NICEAG did discover that the contamination from their site did run underneath the transmission shop. And they had to do a test per DEC because there was discovered that there was actually the hydraulic leak might have been the other site, the Trips Garage site, but
That was
they,
trips, yeah.
yeah, they had to do a test to see how much that was contaminated and if that needed to be remediated, and it came back fine. So we're good to go there. They're going to continue to remediate the sites. I don't know if they've tracked it where it goes under the former trips yet or not, but at this point, they're thinking they might be done in October. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know. It seems a little faster than I recall them saying.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. Another thing that I've been working on with town of Portlandville, town of Homer, city of Portland, Truxton's been invited. Virgil is going to be invited. Portland County is the only county in New York State that does not have a county rep department. So which is odd. So we're looking at creating almost a de facto one, calling it a recreation district. Where we would sort of pool everything together and have one administrative function for signing up, and then figure out, who's gonna do what and sharing of resources. So, for instance, we can, if we don't have someone who's great at lining fields, we can do extra mowing and they can send someone to line our fields. The other thing that we need to look into that was mentioned today is they have GPS lines, field liners. You just you set it, you put the lime in the bag and it goes, just like they do with tractors with planting corn now. So we should probably investigate the cost of that, because that would take a lot of labor out of this. But this district is a ways down the road. The first thing that we're going to do is Suny Portland, I think it's Recreation Studies Department. I'm not sure the official title, the one that Susan Wilson is the chair of. She's interested in being involved in this because obviously it's what they do. So we're actually going to see if they will do a study on this where they come up with, all the assets, all the programs, costs, and present to us sort of a conceptual plan. So it's probably not going to happen next year, possibly the year after, though. I think it's a good direction. I think it would save money, and I think it would probably increase participation if,
It's a great idea.
So working on that. And I mean, I'm just gonna say one thing I heard very depressing at the comptroller's breakfast yesterday. 2 cities, they got classified in some way as like a micro city or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what the name of it was, but it's Jamestown and Dunkirk. So for the Recovery Act money, Dunkirk has 12,000 people. They got $13 million. That's just punishing, to think about how little we got in comparison to that. So, but anyway, because then we should have gotten around 4 million instead of 330,000.
I've worked in Dunkirk and there's nothing there except for the dad's dog food factory.
Yeah.
And college right down the road.
Those are planning to turn Homer into a city.
Right?
Oh, you just reminded me of something, Edward. You had suggested that we approach the county and ask them.
Oh, yeah, why not?
Well, the funny thing is, I got a thing from the county today saying, well, do you have a need for some of this money? And if so, and they sent a form which basically says, what are you proposing, what the impact would be, boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna just forward it to you.
No, they want to talk to you.
Well,
I'm nobody.
you take the first pass at throwing it out.
Well, I'll write a letter if you want.
No, it's not a letter, it's literally a form where
I
they,
can
there's
fill out
several
a form.
questions.
Did we have Ed work with Dan because
Yes.
he does all the grants and
Yes.
projects?
I think so.
Send it
They gave
over?
500K for the baseball park.
Right.
We can buy like Casey Fields, we got a dog park, and then we got maybe future potential.
Yep,
That's only 375, at least it was at the last appraisal. You have to pay a appraised price. But we could kick in some with our grant money. That would be a coup.
I think,
Yes.
I think it actually might go over even better if we, well, if we were to get that and also the IDA property next door. That would, I think that might sweeten the pot for
That
the
can only
county.
be leased. You'd only lease the IDA property. Can't be claimed. You can only lease it. It should be fine too.
Well, they're trying to sell it.
Yeah, but who's gonna buy it with the pollution in it?
Well, right, there's some that to consider, but
I would normally lease it.
anyway, I will forward it on to you and
I'd be glad to.
you guys can work on it and then we can punch it up, but I just thought the timing was funny because I got your email, I read it, and then I got that, and I said, keepers, here we are. And it's good that they're doing that. And that's all I have. Do we have anything in executive session? We do,
We
okay.
have lots of personnel to start with.
Okay, we have lots of personnel. So before we go into executive, any questions from the meeting?
I think I'd like to know a little bit more about the sewage and water increase. I know that there were 2 proposed options. I would just like to take a look at the second one if possible.
Yeah, there were 3
There were
actually.
three.
Okay.
Yeah, you can give them a copy of the whole report.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's all there.
Would
One,
you
two,
like
and
one
three.
too? I have mine, so.
Yeah, just take it, keep it. It's an incredibly well done report.
Thanks.
Not necessarily increase, it's more
Adjustment.
Right.
adjustment for our usage.
Yeah, some people's is gonna go down like 30%, he said.
So yeah, basically, the base rate will now cover all of our fixed costs. We broke them up to fixed and variable costs. And then the consumption covers the variable cost because that's based on how much you use.
Right.
We need to have a reserve in case stuff breaks. And right now, we don't have any. We run a deficit 2 years in a row. So we gotta stop that, stop the hemorrhaging, and then hopefully grow that a little bit. We're not going to the trough for a lot of extra money, so. Could you quote me on that trough thing? That sounds pretty newspapery.
Any other questions? Don?
Just a point of information for you. The county used to have a recreation department. I don't know if you knew that.
No.
Yep, it was run by Emmanuel Land. And when he retired, they just did away with it.
Really?
Yeah. Probably 2008, 2010, something around there.
Oh, all right.
Wow.
Interesting. I did not know that.
It was the bicycle routes throughout the county, Manning Land laid those out.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
The illustrious 17 or 19 or whatever you want to call them on the 3rd floor didn't see the need for him. He didn't schmooze them enough.
Politics, man.
How long ago was that?
He said
Probably
2008.
2008, 2010, something. It was after I left. I left the end of 07, and he was still there, but not for long, I think. And he was, part of his job was, as I recall, was administering grant money that the county got and
Right.
overseeing different things. And man, we don't need it, We can just give it to somebody that won't be able to do it.
Right.
That's all I got.
Thank you.
I think you had another question, right?
Oh, no, that's
Okay,
good.
yeah.
Oh, and for whatever anybody asked Kevin about, I don't know if you saw it, but I had a letter from Mrs. Stratton, Janet Stratton. Set it up.
About the flags?
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't read it yet. I just got back from, but it's, I think they're phenomenal.
Yeah, somebody just asked how much the overall cost was. That was all. So, I'm just getting it together.
maybe they were trying to,
It could be good.
maybe they were gonna come up with some money and reimburse us.
Maybe. You never know.
I know, there's an idea.
All right. Well, if there's no other questions, then I would entertain a motion to go into executive session, to talk about personnel.
Excuse me for a minute.
Yeah,
Can I do a shout out here real quick?
of course.
As everybody knows, well, not everybody probably, but we are starting to pave Copeland Ave at 7 o'clock tomorrow. If
Right.
everybody could just kind of avoid that street if at all possible, that would be great. We'll probably try to keep one lane open, of course, but
Right, all
it's
right.
gonna be an all day deal.
Avoid Copeland Ave tomorrow.
Yes.
Hope they do.
Maybe.
All right. I appreciate it.
On the radio.
Yeah, Vinny already logged
Oh,
on.
I have a question.
Yeah, Vinny got off before I could say it, so. But, all right, well, thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
I'll text him in the morning. Bill.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Saw some emails about, renderings or. Did you
Yes.
approve that or?
Okay.
Is that all done?
No,
Is that
thank
something we
you.
gotta do?
It is. Thank you for reminding me.
Well, because it wasn't on the agenda. I thought
Um,
you'd already done it.
so we've got a quote from Keystone from people to do renderings for the DRI application for $6,000. And so I told John that we would talk about it tonight. They need to pretty much know right away in order to have them done on time. So,
For it. And I'd also, before the Victor Siegel stuff too, and even if we don't use it this year, we'll use it in your presentation that you're gonna have to use, because I'm pretty sure these renderings are gonna be different.
well, that's the thing is
Victor's will be more friendly and people and motion and it's the theory and blah, blah, blah. And
But I think
I'm
Vic-
thinking,
I
these
think-
are more technical.
I think Victor's will have to be done after these ones so
Well,
that
that's okay.
they're showing the same thing.
Yeah, I don't have a
But-
problem with that.
Yeah,
But we have the money aside.
This is actually a flyby, so they're gonna start from, going down Pine Street, going down Wall Street, and then going down the river.
Oh, and I'd like to sign you up for September 29th for Rotary to talk about this. You know, that would be great too. Just saying. Be that. Somebody who knows what's going on.
let's see here. I just did the other Rotary.
Oh, nice. How'd that go?
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. I'm back, people. Don't forget that.
September
29th, yeah.
Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday
Cost me a
morning,
lot of
7
money.
o'clock. Only an hour. You'll be done by 8.
Okay, let me put it in here, hold on.
And we could set up a PowerPoint or whatever you got, or just talking, however, some posters. Be kind of cool, I think. Get out to a lot of people. Especially that
Yeah.
public outreach portion, which is, we've done that already. So this is just more.
Um,
All right, then.
Yeah, I'm scheduled that.
It's in my calendar.
we also need to look at a, public input
Right.
on this.
You already had some, but this would be more of it.
Yeah,
Well, part of it is, I mean, we have the 14th. I think we have to have some public input before we file, don't we?
No, you've already done that with your economic development committees. So this is just more in finalizing and improving upon the placeholder that I put in 2019. At least I certainly hope so, because I haven't been affected by it since Hal fired me on it. So I've kind of stayed the hell away from it. So, which is okay, by the way. It doesn't matter. You've got a 40% chance.
I think we do have to have one more, just a public meeting on it.
Could be a Zoom meeting.
Yeah, probably not a bad idea.
And that's where some of those old PowerPoints and that kind of stuff, you could use that kind of stuff as kind of the green.
It's due on the 14th, that application,
The application's due on the 15th.
so we
However,
could make it part of our meeting on the 14th then.
Well, the thing is, they're always, we could, it would just, what they say is, never try to submit something on the 15th.
All right,
Just
right,
everybody in
Yeah.
the state is sending that.
All right.
Huge.
And I had to drive it up last time, actually,
Okay,
because
so-
of some of the pieces to Syracuse.
All right, so we'll come up with a date.
I mean, because if we need, was it 10 days?
5 days.
5 days notice.
And we have a
Oh,
holiday in there, so we almost have to get one.
We're going to executive first?
Well, it's not necessarily
The 6th, you mean, or the 7th?
No, pending the meet, so we
Yeah.
can talk about this, go into executive, you're not in executive yet, never went into executive.
Just kind of.
All right, I make a motion that we go, well,
No, but we got to vote on the money.
we gotta
Did you
vote on
say
this.
you needed?
We
that?
can do that afterward, I'll come out more, come out executive and do that, I would recommend.
Right.
But the motion.
Did you second it? You firsted it, you seconded it,